And we have got Crincy back from the depths of the underworld, where we banished him for one game. You were powering the banger machine. I hope you did charge the batteries up enough to get us a game 5. But I'm glad to have you back. What do you think of these teams right now?
I mean, I haven't seen game 3, so I cannot really tell, but I think Saigon Buffalo's definitely looking good right now. I mean, just now with this draft yet again, I mean, they basically got the white counter picks in the sidelines, which is something they really strive for, I think. And I think Artifact has a lot of weight on his shoulders this game, because he has to smash this lane. And he, together with Penguin, who had some rough early games, I would say. But I mean, the early games were fine, but the translation to the mid game wasn't so much. And then, just now, basically have to do a big task. Eddie, of course, did in game 2. That was before I left for a little bit, and maybe they need a miracle like this again.
I will say, Husmed, 14 games on Ornn, 28% win rate. It's not great.
Oof.
Maybe it's just a little cursed.
Maybe, but and to be honest, I can kind of see that trend continuing, because as was pointed out by your way. Yeah, there's kind of a range problem on the side of SGB. Like, they have a very nice comp going forward, and they can absolutely steamroll fights for sure. But if they kind of stall out a little bit, I can definitely see the problems start to arise from a long range Eddie and Artifact being able to duck in and delete someone like Shogun.
Yeah, look, obviously people are gonna make jokes about Renekton picks, right? It's pretty much a league staple, and maybe they're not completely wrong either. But I do think
this about Renekton bigger than Renekton himself.
Exactly. At some point, you're just kicking kids, but it does give the ability to Hero to actually make the shot calls from top lane. He's been on the back foot all series. Being able to just kind of reset his mental and just have prio in the top side is such a massive shift.
Definitely is. And we have seen this level 1 just now, where Hero was literally zoning the Ornn away from the wave, and Husband wasn't having any fun in that. That, of course, just now also translates into the CS that we see. It's 14 CS to 1, but right now the wave is probably crashing towards the side of Husband on the Ornn, so he will pick up a few of them, will get the first few levels he really needs to, and with that, I think the matchup will step a little bit.
Oh, Eddie! A lot of trouble. He has to flash away. Needs to be careful. One more auto attack would have been enough, but Shogun can't quite find it. But a big lead early on now for Team Secret. Now, Penguin, there's no support coming except from the mid lane. As the bomb goes in, first blood is secured. Penguin going very low, needs to get another passive proc, can't find it. Zhuhao goes in with a hook, but now it is Froggy entering the fray as well. Eddie lurking on the sides of this fight. A bit of damage coming out of Froggy. Does hit the shuriken, but goes in onto Zhuhao. Can't quite actually get anything done. Artifact. Oh my god, Artifact! You are absolutely cracked as he lands another chain, but can't quite follow up on it. Froggy flashing away. In the end, it's a 2 for 2. Brawls in the bottom side.
How did he not get anything? He's 0-0-0, but Artifact, yeah, he's putting in the work. Actually, the bot lane as an entirety didn't get involved except to give a kill over from Zuha. Just kind of a shocking turn of events that they managed to sneak away with nothing coming down on the side of the bot lane for Team Secret. But at least the mid jungle, they get some gold in their pockets. They feel kind of comfortable. Maybe they can expand this lead and transfer it into the side lanes on their own accord on a later occasion.
I mean, I gotta say, they don't deserve it, right? I mean, Eddie wasn't really part of this fight. Nautilus was like landing one hook, and that was basically it. And it was basically Artifact doing all the work, and he rightfully so claimed his 2 kills. And that's a scary prospect, I would say. Here we see the play again with Penguin being there. Artifact also just now warming up from the river. BJ in the 1v1 against Nocturne, he is somewhat fine if he can deny the spell sheet coming in with the Sky Splitter lens, but here we see Artifact being in with the priority. The bot lane just now fought the 2v2 that was favorable for the side of Saigon Buffalo, so they are up ahead in this play, and double buff still on Shogun, but of course it's very hard to play this skirmish out widely if the cooldowns have already been blown beforehand. Foggy goes in very much deep, but he is Akali, so he's probably have to really fight it out. And he actually did a lot of work there, just not zoning those two and actually ending up killing Zhuhao, so I won't fault Foggy for anything here. But Artifact on his own played very well. The bot lane of his team, not so much.
I think Artifact played that to perfection. I think it might be early to say it, but we might be in for another big performance out of him. Artifact has been fantastic this series. The Rise game, perhaps a little bit average, but the rest of this series has been absolutely lovely from this man in the mid lane, Team Secret.
Penguin appears to be potentially spotted out. Lots of things going on down. They are aware that the Nocturne is in the area, so should be playing fairly safe. And just to see where BJ starts to path, he should know at least that the Gromp has been taken off the map. So maybe he wants to make a move towards the mid lane. Maybe wants to just try and do a wraparound. He's just gonna wonder. He's just not quite sure what he's doing.
Having a geese. Top lane. Yeah, just having a look at the top lane. Obviously, there is a bit of a CS gap. When does the CS gap here actually begin to get concerning for Husband? Because he's going to lose in CS, right?
I would say that it is concerning right now, and it will get less concerning the longer it goes, obviously, because we all know on-scale is better than next. Like, it's no secret, I would say. Hero, of course, being 30 CS right now is very, very scary. Also, ultimate is blown by him. And I think that is kind of the point. Yeah, the collapse coming in. And Husband, if he survives this dive, I think he would be somewhat fine. But he's also getting proxied away from the wave, and this is a rough look for them. I mean,
so the thing to watch here is Penguin is stealing a red buff. Does he hit 6 off it? If he hits 6 off it, Husband is screwed. If he doesn't, I think he's okay. They've gone pretty early. Here comes the Ornn shot. Oh no, the Brittles are here. Hero with a good flash, but Taki has now roamed in. Penguin did not hit 6, and that's a disaster. Now an E lands. Hero's got no chance. He's turned into a handbag, and they give the fashion to Froggy.
What the hell is Team Secret diving today? They cannot do it. There was nothing. Like, Artifact goes in to tank it, realizing there's a lower health on the Crocodile, but he doesn't actually do any damage. He doesn't, get any real damage down onto it. He's just saying, I'm going to take it, you'll be fine. But no, there's a lot of burst damage on an Ornn. It's why he's so valuable. And, yeah, with that assist...
Artifact... Froggy going low. He's still in a Kali though, so Artifact needs to be careful, but Juhao is here. The hook lands. The kill will be given to Penguin.
Kill given to Penguin, and Froggy definitely overstepping there. He didn't really even need to be there in the first place. And speaking of that early dive, I wanted two things differently. They're being played by Team Secret. First of all, Penguin hitting 6 and actually communicating it. The other would be playing around the Dominos, the ultimate from the Renekton, to really have it ready for the dive. It was played before, and to poke Husband out a little bit. But if you synchronize the damage a little bit better, then Husband doesn't really have any time to react. Like this, he did have it, and it ended up with Hero falling down once again. This time strong side on the Renekton, and that pick falling down definitely spelling disaster for them. But with the Herald, maybe they can crack open the top lane soon enough.
Eddie going to be getting really big here. He is a little bit down in CS. He has been moving around the map while Shogun hasn't. I need to see how many plates have actually been taken on the bottom side. But first brick given over to Team Secret. A lot of the gold going on to Eddie as well. 3 tower plates for Shogun, so it's not all doom and gloom for the Buffalo, but a Jinx in a strong position, no question. And now they have to fend off this dive. He's got the Dominus, he's got that Cull the Meek, and he's dodging away from the culling. Hero, he's surviving for a time. No help is on the way though. He needs to find another big heal. It's not quite big enough, I don't think. And he does finally go down. BJ will just about get away.
It was just a culling firing away into the minion wave, so there wasn't really any dodging done by Hero, but he basically bought as much time as he could. At the end of the day, he was just falling down anyway, as the dive was played a little bit early by the side of BJ, and Shogun, of course, claimed the kill, and Dominos expiring was basically what seals the default side of Hero there, and this evolution is also getting scary. When he had his free time, he didn't need to waste some time swapping, as Eddie did, for the Herald push on the top side of the map, and Shogun, with the 2-2 kill earlier as well, is definitely set up to success so far. Gotta say that him being outranged by the Jinx might become a problem later on.
Yeah, I'm saying that that problematic CS lead, it's gone. There's no longer a problem. You're comfortable. You're probably got a bit of an experience advantage thanks to the death time on the side of Hero, and you're pretty comfortably cruising along. 20 CS is a dead counterpick. Like if you're meant to crush a lane and you only get a 20 CS lead, you haven't done your job, and that means that Hero kind of is just gonna settle into Renekton type duties of being a beef ball, maybe finding a big a big kill here or there, but Harsman is just going to slowly scale up, slowly get bigger and better. And if he keeps bullying onto Hero like this, yeah, it feels like Hero kind of hasn't lost the side wave, but he kind of has lost all tower pressure.
So I have a question for you, Crincy.
He's dead.
They've just killed the crocodile. We'll get a replay, no doubt. But maybe something we can think about while we wait for the replay and while we watch it. Obviously, we're looking at Team Secret as an early game comp, right? They've got a LeBlanc, they've got a Nocturne, they've got a Renekton. I'm never going to get a point in. As in they go, but that's a lot of damage onto Penguin coming out from the culling. Artifact dives in. Of course, is the LeBlanc, has the pad to go back to. Doesn't quite actually go back. Eddie now having to use the flash. This was way too far forward. Lovely catch. Get on there. Can they actually get out of this one? Oh, into the back line goes the LeBlanc, picks up 2 kills immediately. They trade it back onto the Jinx, and now B&J going low. And Taki's the only one left. Artifact, you are such a god. You are a shiny golden god. Penguin will bring down the last bit of damage, and Team Secret walk away with 4.
What? Okay. You can just do that apparently if you're called Artifact on LeBlanc. Because that should have been dead to ride to SGP victory. But no, Artifact slips past everyone, pops the backline, and then from there, Penguin's actually just able to sort of sustain through it pretty effectively. And gotta say, huge props to the mid jungle. They got that lead that early in that early skirmish, and it's kind of carried them into a victory there.
Whew. So, if I can get back to the question, maybe it's not as relevant with Artifact playing as well as this. Even in the late game. Oh, well, I mean, there's not a lot to talk about here. He just gets hunted down. How does, as the game goes on, and we think Team Secret falls off, they've got the Renekton and stuff, how do they actually deal with Jinx range? And you can answer that question after Marby breaks down the replay.
Yeah, so it's just a face check. Not much to go on here. This is an over-aggressive move from Penguin. He feels like he can do it, but with the rocket just whiffing from Eddie, it's kind of out of the way. But why Eddie pushes so far forward, and that makes SGP feel comfortable to try and chase in, but they group up Froggy and Shogun, and that flash W instant nuke.
Hang on a minute, as we are immediately back in, as a ram has been called in, and a Nautilus has been cracked.
Yeah, don't stop coming, but SGP have to run. Artifacts here.
I don't get the frog,
watch out. Quincy, please get in here.
Back to your question, Carrick. The way, of course, to do with the Jinx is like threatening to kill her in any way or form you can. Because the Forge Code has insane range. It's set up for the side of the Ornn. The Stormbringer from Vulnerable could come out, and also, of course, the Solar Flare coming out by the side of Taki. And with Eddie not going Gale Force this time, he's up the Krakens there to max his damage output. He's actually very much in trouble if he actually gets pinned down, as we see right here. He's not the target they are really looking for, as they just want to get some time to really fight his front to back and just kill Zhu Hao. But in the meantime, Eddie just cannot hit anyone as he's not in the position to do so. And like this, just get up this kill. And if the fights play out like this, Shogun can definitely win those fights, even if he is outranged. And we have seen just earlier how Artifact, of course, is still a very huge problem for him. But other than him, it's still kind of playable for the side of Saigon Buffalo.
Yeah, the big thing that hurts Eddie right now is there's no way to keep him safe from all the ability to lower that range distance, and that's kind of a bit of a failing of the draft.
You got there
because you could have picked something useful, but you went with a Renekton and a Nautilus. So Nautilus can kind of work, but he definitely works better as a go in engage type champion. So it's just kind of. Poor Eddie has to really rely on his positioning, and that has not been his strength this series.
And Hero adapted in a very weird way. He went for the Hullbreaker Renekton, so he will be very squishy if he actually has to skirmish, and this is one of the things where Renekton usually would shine on. And he actually will be a permanent sideline threat, I guess, and will be maybe trying to force multiple members of Saigon Buffalo to his side while the Team Secret is doing something on the other. If that works out on a champion like Renekton, I kind of doubt it, because he's actually kind of built for these skirmishing teamfight styles, and the Hullbreaker doesn't really give you that.
So, something to point out. This split, if Team Secret has been ahead at 15 minutes, they have won 100% of the time. They have not lost a game where they're ahead of 15. That means Silver Scrapes, cue it up already your way. They're going to keep it going.
Oh, dear. But, well, I mean, we also had that run where Team Secret had never lost a single game to anyone below them, and then, out of nowhere, they just lose a game to Sky. So, you know, streaks can be broken. Streaks can end. And Buffalo are definitely looking to make that end. As even they are behind, but it doesn't really feel like it outside of that big artifact in the mid lane.
Definitely so. I mean, sidelines not really working out for them. The AD carries behind, that's like the most important part in those team fights, that the AD carry is not really putting in the work in the damage department, as of course Shogun has a much easier time than Eddie would have in those team fights. And I mean, on the 30 CS behind, even a little bit more than that, but his items are so much cheaper, that's why in general tanks are scaling better than those bruisery kind of champions, if they are at least somewhat comparable in their gold income. And earlier they weren't, when it was like 60 to 30 CS, but right now the gap is just in relative numbers so much closer, and of course experience also plays a huge part in it. On by now is level 11, he will very soon hit level 12, hit level 13, then will also craft his own items, and that will also elevate the combo of Saigon Buffalo a bit further. They just now drop the mid lane T1 turret, which of course hurts them in the map control. With Drake's also not really stacking up that quickly for side of Secret, it's not looking easy for them. And here we see the Hull Break Collection, built for the 1v1, doesn't even win the 1v1 anymore.
It's against an Ornn. You're going up against the tank and he's just clapping you all day. And you're kind of just left going, well, this is useless. And if Froggy gets the shutdown, it's huge.
Yeah, Froggy moving forward, runs through him with the perfect execution artifact, desperately tries to outfox him, but can't. A shutdown does go over. The paranoia times out before Penguin can press the dash. Oh no, Team Secret.
This is the one thing that was not allowed to happen. Artifact giving away the shutdown to Froggy, and Froggy also, he got it completely alone, out of his own force he did it. He didn't really need BNJ or any other engaged tool out of it, and that's like the one win con Team Secret still had. Of course, they just now get this Hextech Dragon and can work towards the Hextech Soul. It would be a very strong soul if they happen to get it, but if not even Artifact is working for them, the Nocturne also will fall off to some extent. It will be very, very hard to do it. I think Artifact might just need a miracle catch again, as he did 2 games before.
And that's not what you want to be relying on. What on earth happened?
Yeah, just that dash right there. That plays the whole thing around. Most of the damage in these 2 assassins are within their E, and that single shuriken flip not only landed onto Artifact, it broke the chain, so could not actually land his own damage down. And that's just a huge win from Froggy.
That's just lovely Akali play by Froggy. The fact that SGB might have the 2 best Akali players in the league on their team, it's impressive stuff. No question.
I don't know. That's for Ryuk.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay,
let's
put,
but I can't put up serious names.
Oh, Artifact's in more trouble. They found the problem and they're here to root it out.
Yeah, that's him dying again. Not really making sure they can translate the lead. I mean, the lead is 2k gold right now. It was 3k gold like 10 minutes ago. So we definitely, even if it wouldn't have shrunken, that Team Secret is really struggling to propel further in this game with their comp that will fall off later in the game. And Artifact just not dying again. Kind of unfortunate, as he could maybe escape on the mobility that the block really provides. But Taki was really ready to the play.
They want to try and get on to Froggy. He has a blast cone. He has a perfect execution. Penguin needs to play this one safe. And I just don't think they can catch him anymore. Yeah, I'll give him that Teemo as well. Froggy is just absolutely pumping it with the funny weed number as his KDA.
Yeah, I have to say, really poor work from Team Secret to keep track of the enemy team, because there was a big setup in that topside jungle for a while before that second pick onto Artifact. And they just weren't aware of it at all. They didn't really try and push an advantage elsewhere. They did get a tower in the bot lane, I suppose, but again, onto a Renekton, kind of just useless at that point. And they weren't willing to aggress in the mid lane. They weren't willing to try and collapse onto it. They had no idea where the enemy team were, and it's just been a very good vision shutout from SGB when they want to set something up.
And I mean, Hero has managed to farm quite a lot. He now has his Gore Drinker. It's a 2-item croc. Now, of course,
he's also sitting on a shutdown by now.
Yeah, he's been hitting minions for a while. Quincy, you'll never get your Yorick, but you are getting Yorick gameplay.
Actually, a Yorick would have been better here than the Renekton. I mean, if you just sideline how
Yeah.
local gaming any
I
day,
agree.
then just pick Yorick, actually. I mean, also, like, he would did it in the first game as well. Like, pick it into the Aatrox, the Jace won't really do much. If you just keep getting ganked, then just pick them that scales better, right?
Oh no, I activated him. I said the secret code phrase.
The way Hero's been playing, you might as well just put him on Lethality Scion.
Ooh.
Actually,
Oh
yes.
no.
That's
Can't
just a better
activate.
Yorick in competitive play, so yeah. Actually,
Can't
checks out.
activate Hero 10. Oh my word. God, my color casters out of nowhere just pulled out the knives. Oh, Hero
Big
could
Hero
be in
6.
trouble. God, guys, jeez. Stop the bullying. Hero dodges away from that play. Shogun not able to lock him down.
I like how the graphic just evolves up. Carrix is a really cool guy, by the way. Thank you, Spoot. Thank you, Wilway, in the production room. Either way of that, Saigon Buffalo definitely stabilized this game. They are now also starting to pick up these ornaments up, as there's the first honor item upgrade coming, of course, for on himself on Hasmed. So you can imagine that gold that's only 2k be now down to only 1k, as that's about the much the gold value that is really provided by those item upgrades. And yeah, it's getting more comfortable the longer the game goes.
Sorry, I'm just laughing. My word.
We're also looking at some very nice upgrades for the one to work with. Gale Force is absolutely cracked, one of the best options. So is Divine Sunder in terms of raw upgrade stats, if I remember the tier list, remember correctly. And that just means, yeah, that you want. That's not just these like stuff. Like it doesn't feel. It's not just like a flat. Okay, roughly 1,000 gold of stats. In the case of like the Gale Force upgrade, that can almost push like 1,200 and like pick up just
Pop
these
quiz,
little
Marty.
extra bits of stats.
Pop quiz, what's it called?
Vortex.
Wrong.
No, it's
Typhoon.
Typhoon. God, same thing. Synonyms.
Not really, but anyway, BJ does get chained up. Yep. Does get chained up, but he's just chunked out, manages to survive. If Team Secret can pick up this Drake, they activate a very strong win condition as Artifact once again going to the back line. Now there's a Nocturne ult. They need to find someone to actually go onto. It's going to be Froggy. They want to get the fear on him and lock him down into the front line. This Renekton is doing a lot, really tanking up some damage, gets away as well. Froggy unable to activate himself in this fight. He lives, but living is not enough. Artifact now bearing down on him, picks up a double kill, and Team Secret with teamfight execution out of the gills.
Definitely.
So close from Artifact.
Yeah, so close, almost stopping the recall right there, and that's Hextech's sole point now for Team Secret. The gold lead just now opening up a little bit more. It's now back to 3k, and then maybe going for Baron play, as they actually started off. BJ, of course, still has flash up, and you really shouldn't flip it without having any other advantage taken, but with bot mid lane and top lane being down, this actually might just be them looking for a fight again, as of course like Buffalo has to react to some thought, but they just call the bluff and Team Secret runs away from the Baron.
With that, it's sole point for Team Secret, of course, and it's just been very good work. They've been able to sort of punch through this tanky front line fairly effectively. The Kraken Slayer, the Phantom Dancer just punches out so much damage that if Jinx is untouched, this front line might as well not be a tank.
And I mean, look, we'll go into this replay first. Quincy, this one's all yours, but then we've got so much to break down.
The BJ just getting chunked out by Artifact. It's the Divine Thunder volleyball this time, by the way, which is of course a little bit different, as it is more of a backline threat, but also easier to threaten as he is much more squishy. And this is just overall Saigon Buffalo getting pincered by the paranoia coming out, and them being kind of confused where to really go to, and going for very awkward recall spot, and them just, of course, the collapse coming in, even with Hero. I mean, we flamed the Hardbreaker enough, I would say, but in this team fight, he definitely did a lot of work with using the Dominus, going in, and then just pressing stopwatch as he is healing up again, and just creating such a huge zone where just Saigon Buffalo cannot really pass through and cannot return the fire. And with that, Team Secret could win this team fight 2-0, get the Drake, and also, yet again, just have a nice edge back in the mid game, which you definitely need as the game progresses.
Now, of course, Stopwatch is a one and done. He's not going to be building Zhonya's, though maybe that's the big brain strat to make Renekton more useful. I don't think so.
More damage for the ultimate.
Yeah, true. As Hero is a little bit caught out, but Slice and Dice is away. Paranoia comes out and there's a catch. They go immediately onto Froggy once again, who has a stopwatch of his own to buy a lot of time, flips his way out of there. The bear dives in. They get that first kill onto Renekton, but BJ will fall on the other side, gets excited, does Jinx, and rains the rockets in onto Leona. Or next up on the menu, Husband will be sent to the Shadow Realm. Triple kill picked up for Eddie. He's moving forward. You know he wants these last two. Here's the Quadra. And it's only Froggy left on the menu, and you know he wants a stack. There it is. Eddie locks in a pentakill.
Every time we start to criticize him, Eddie steps up and finds these huge fights on this Jinx. Picked up for game 2, picked up the Penta here. That's a Baron, it's another tower to boot. Maybe it's not the Baron, maybe they ease off on that. But they pick up the fight. They pick up so much control in this game. 6k gold lead for Team Secret.
Yeah, and Eddie definitely be going back to the vows of the second game of the series. Here we see again what happened in this skirmish in particular as the clip rolls out. With, of course, Saigon Buffalo just picking the wrong fight this time. Taki just trying to go into Hero, not even hitting the Zenith Blade. Then they catch him, or try to catch him with the Solar Flare, but Hero can just walk out with his Slice and Dice ability. And here the Fort Cut comes up by the side of Saigon Buffalo. They pilot to Hero, but Hero is of course falling down to it, but at the end of the day it doesn't really matter much as BJ is also falling. The front line kind of missing for the side of Saigon Buffalo, and then Eddie can just pile in. He gets excited quite literally and gets very, very rich of this fight. No objective really following up, but a lot of gold into his pockets.
I mean, first of all, I'm amazed they managed to get that second charge off on that on ultimate, because of that knock-up timing from the Nautilus was damn near perfect. But it's sort of showing a weakness of where Buffalo's comp works. They're very short range, and they have very little in the way of getting out of a fight. They need to be picking the fights. They need to be going in. But when they miss completely on the Zenith Blade engage onto the Renekton, they have no choice. They are just removed and have to try and book it. And with that, it's a complete rout for Team Secret, and that sets up the Baron.
And they go in once again. Hero into the back line, manages to survive, but no, Froggy hunts him down, and immediately they get onto the Nocturne as well. Shuhao's in the middle of the enemy team, and after a Penta, it's a turnaround immediately as Team Secret find a way to lose.
What I say? Buffalo weapon, they go forward.
It's just how the teammates are working with the portrait actually hits onto the primary target, and you don't just focus the Renekton with it, who isn't really the primary focus of your team comp anyway. And like this, Saigon Buffalo's just back. Also, objective shutdowns already on the menu, so they don't only get the Baron, but they also get bounty money for it. It also translates into the next Hextech rage, which of course denies the soul from the side of Team Secret, and it's like birthday and Christmas combined for Saigon Buffalo.
God, man.
Back to even. It's 2k, and that's sure to be even up with this dragon coming through. Actually, I think bounties are just falling off, so it won't bring the gold back, but it definitely keeps Buffalo comfortable in this game. On slowly approaching max level. That's a lot coming in. It's a lot of extra stats. And yeah,
look at this team fight.
We just see full-on engage, 1v5 from the side of Hero. Trying to stall, I believe, but they realize very quickly that, oh no, he can't survive long enough, and so they end up trying to pull off the Baron. But Buffalo, they've got the blood in their eyes now, and they move forward and take the fight.
And with that, the gold basically equalized. 500 gold between those teams. The Ornn upgrades alone will make up then more than that. And with the Baron being there, also a lot of map control for Saigon Buffalo, they can likely just collapse onto the next, at least tier 1 and tier 2 turrets. And Team Secret now needs to make a great defense. LeBlanc, of course, is still very fat, the side of Artifact. Eddie also very well in the game, but it's not easy to teamfight with this LeBlanc pick the later it goes. And I think the Akali can just do more, as we just not saw. When Foy gets the backline access, BJ can follow up, and Team Secret just evaporated, and this cannot happen again.
Oh, Hero has to flash over the wall immediately. Doesn't want to get hunted down by SGB. Shogun rips out the culling, just using it to clear the wave. This will be the mid lane cracked open, nice and easy. The one saving grace for Team Secret is they have been holding Saigon, the flood of Saigon, back for so long that I don't think this Baron will push into the base or anything dire like that.
It doesn't seem likely unless someone oversteps and SGB are able to find a massive team fight win like last time, but it just seems like they're going to fizzle out, hold off, try and wave clear best of their ability. But if someone squishy walks too far up, Artifact has been chunking. That is to be said. Even the frontliner of BJ kind of just falls apart under the poke from Artifact.
Whew. So, we have a very strange game on our hands because the gold has come back to dead even. In terms of gold of stats, I mean, SGB's ahead. There's just no way to argue that. But somehow I still feel like teams... When Artifact can do that... Ooh, has to flash away from the rocket, but of course there's still the Nocturne that can go in. They find onto Froggy, but he is so slippery. They buy a lot of time here with that stopwatch, though. But look at the culling going in onto those carries. Artifact getting chunked out so low. They do pick up the kill onto Froggy, but Artifact is in trouble. Can he get out of this one? I don't think he can. They trade back well. Taki very low. In the middle of the team is Hazmed. Eddie lives. Eddie triples.
Eddie triples and Foggy actually choked that fight pretty hard. He was stopwatching way too early. Could maybe get one auto take, one more combo off, and really the fight would play a different way. Like that, Foggy had to awkwardly escape the fight and still died at the end of the day to one long flying rocket on the side of Eddie, which got him excited and managed then to kind of the fight pretty well. Another triple kill in the back pockets of Eddie, and with that gold, of course, now yet again back to even, and the Baron push just ends, which is the most important part of it. Here we see again how it really happened. They agreed for the T2 to it. BJ also, at the start of the fight, basically just gets one shot, and he, of course, survives, but he just uses for the last element of the fight. Here we see what Foggy does. He stopwatch. I think he just now wanted to maybe hit Penguin first, or just watch a little bit later. Culling hits a lot of members, and just chunks Artifact out. But Eddie getting inside of that one kill onto Froggy is really what turned this fight around. Eddie getting a lot of movement speed and attack speed, and Hazmed cannot reach him anymore. They try to turn onto him. Shogun also tried to choke onto him with just going for the red pursuit offensively and just kill him before he dies, but he just doesn't get the kill before he dies in the skirmish himself, and like that, Eddie just cleans up the fight.
One more on item left, just had the SI left to complete, but yeah, we're seeing the range sort of fall apart when Froggy is kind of unable to really access this backline. Shogun did his best, had a perfect two-man knock-up to set him up from Hazmed, landed a full culling onto Artifact, it felt like, but the inability to really get in and finish off that damage without putting himself at massive risk just meant that the team fight sort of fell apart right at the end. Now, seems to be a bit of a setup going on, trying to do the preliminary pre-dragon fight, so no one actually gets a proper good setup with wards and stuff, but maybe SGP are just trying to lurk for someone pushing a side wave. That seems to be the play.
They've definitely got some funny business on the go. With a wave pushing down, Team Secret could just get themselves a tower kind of for free, and the recalls are just coming in. Team Secret have called their bluff. They now move forward onto Hazmed, who are getting jumped out. They die. 5 seconds on the dragon. Another tower falls. The bluff has been called, and they've shoved all in.
And Team Secret just gets a free inhibitor. Like, they can also just be turned maybe for the Hextech Soul, and now it's a very disadvantageous fight for the side of Saigon Buffalo. Maybe just have to drop the Hextech Soul.
Artifact threw a cheeky chain and popped the bubble.
Where's BJ? Can he get in there? No. They're not even going to attempt.
They're trying to get positioning on Baron.
This
will only spawn 10 seconds, so they can't just watch down the
Baron. 2 TPs ready. 2 TPs and a Paranoia.
This is impossible. You can't fight anymore. You can't ever catch Eddie with these slows that are coming out from the Hextech Soul. Fights are over. This is a win for this outside of a horrific throw. Team Secret, they should have this in the bag. They just need to walk in.
They're just going to do it.
They ping it.
All right. They know. Yeah, they know for sure. Hazmed manages to get out, but that's TP burned. Team Secret held their TPs. They held their nerve. They still have access to this. They can still poke around, do little plays, and still reset with the TP. Team Secret, keep it calm.
And Saigon Buffalo is just fought on the first hand. the super minis are pushing into the Nexus turrets right now, and now it's maybe the force being shown. Fortress out.
They dodge away, and there's all of the ultimates coming in, and they all miss, but Froggy finds onto Artifact, takes him down low. The first kill has gone over onto the Jinx. The culling rips in, but it's only going to proc the GA of this Renekton. Froggy hiding there, but double kill now picked up already. He can move on forward once again, and we know what this Jinx can do, don't we, fellas? As another zap goes in, that's a quadra kill picked up already. I don't think the Penta is on the menu this time, but you know what is? It's game 5, and I love this restaurant in the VCS. We get damn full as we go the distance. Team Secret want to get to Busan.
Oh, you're always wrong. It's a 3-2 series. It's not a clean shutout. Artifact putting that final stamp of approval on to Shogun's face. And it's a nice, well-fought game from Team Secret. Eddie